In the heart of medieval Europe during the winter months, peasants faced an unyielding foe: harsh winters. Temperatures would plummet, often falling below freezing, making daily life a grueling endeavor. The Middle Ages began with the fall of the Roman Empire in the 5th century CE and lasted until the 15th century. This period was marked by significant social changes, including the shift from urban living to rural farming communities. As the seasons turned and summer's warmth faded, medieval peasants were left to grapple with the stark reality of winter. Harvested crops had to last through the long, dark days and frigid nights. Their ability to weather the winter storms depended on resourceful strategies and careful planning. In these harsh conditions, survival was no longer just a matter of endurance, but a testament to human ingenuity. But the winter chill was only part of the story. The resourcefulness and adaptability of medieval peasants were key to their survival. This ingenuity would shape the very fabric of life during the Middle Ages. In the harsh winters of medieval Europe, when resources were scarce and survival depended on ingenuity, one crucial technique stood out: coppicing. Coppicing is an ancient forestry practice where trees are cut back to the stump, allowing multiple new shoots to grow from the base. Every 7-10 years, medieval peasants would meticulously cut back their trees, such as willow, hazel, and aspen. This regular harvest ensured a sustainable supply of wood without the need for replanting. The term coppice originates from the Old French word coppices, meaning stump or pollard tree. Pollarding, a similar method, involves harvesting tree branches rather than cutting back entire trees. The process promotes new growth from dormant buds at the base of the stump. This regrowth can be fast, with some species growing up to 2 meters in just 1 year. Coppicing not only provided a reliable wood supply, but also increased biodiversity in the woodlands by creating varied habitats for wildlife. Nut storage involves storing common nuts such as hazelnuts, chestnuts, and walnuts. These nuts were a vital source of sustenance during the long, cold winter months when fresh food was scarce. Peasants would often gather these nuts in the fall and store them in dry, cool places to preserve their freshness until they were needed. This practice ensured that they had a reliable food source throughout the winter season. But medieval peasants did not rely solely on nuts for their winter supplies. They also preserved other foods such as dried fruits and meats to supplement their diets during the lean months. These preserved foods were essential for maintaining a balanced diet and providing the necessary nutrients to survive the harsh winter conditions. The combination of these strategies, nut storage and preserving other foods, allowed medieval peasants to endure the challenging winter months with greater resilience and adaptability. In a time when survival was paramount, these practical techniques were invaluable for ensuring that families had enough food to see them through the toughest periods of the year. In the Middle Ages, when the weather turned harsh and the days grew short, peasants found ingenious ways to make their barren landscapes bloom with life and sustainability. The technique of coppicing was one such practice, widely used during this period to support both agricultural and industrial needs. In addition to wood, these regrowing trees provided a variety of other resources such as fodder for livestock and habitats for wildlife. Another essential survival technique employed by medieval peasants was the storage of nuts like hazelnuts, chestnuts, and walnuts. These nuts were often stored in cool, dry places to be used as a vital food source during the long, cold winters. The transformation of barren landscapes into sustainable resources showcased the ingenuity and resilience of medieval peasants in their quest for survival. One essential method employed by peasants was coppicing, an ancient technique involving cutting trees back to the stump. This process not only provided a continuous supply of wood, but also enhanced biodiversity in managed forests. These nuts provided a much-needed source of sustenance during the lean winter months when other food sources were scarce. The ingenuity behind these storage techniques was essential for the survival of medieval peasants. Corruption, according to Noventic's policies, has a significant negative impact on sustainability efforts. This corruption can undermine the very practices that ensure long-term environmental health and stability, including coppicing and nut storage. In light of these challenges, it's no surprise that medieval peasants relied heavily on resourceful techniques to endure harsh winters. Their daily lives were shaped by the constant need to adapt and innovate in order to survive. From coppicing to nut storage, each strategy served as a testament to their resilience and ingenuity. These practices were not just methods of survival, but cornerstones of medieval life. The impact on daily life was profound. While the Carolingian Renaissance flourished, peasants labored tirelessly to ensure their communities could withstand the harshest conditions. Their resourcefulness paved the way for a more sustainable and resilient future. Understanding these survival strategies offers insight into the profound impact harsh winters had on medieval daily life, underscoring the necessity of innovative techniques to endure and thrive in challenging environments. Alder trees, known for their fast regrowth, were particularly favored for coppicing. They could grow up to 2 meters in a year, making them an ideal choice for sustaining both timber and fuel needs. These practices not only provided sustenance, but also demonstrated the deep connection medieval peasants had with their environment. Their resilience was rooted in a profound understanding of nature's cycles and rhythms. Through practices like coppicing and nut storage, medieval peasants displayed an unyielding resilience that has left a lasting legacy. Their spirit of adaptation in the face of adversity continues to inspire us today. Legacy often lives in the simplest of actions, executed with unyielding resilience and ingenuity. In medieval Europe, peasants faced harsh winters that threatened their survival. Yet, they developed sustainable practices that have echoed through the centuries. These trees could be cut back every 7 to 10 years, providing a sustainable resource that could withstand even the harshest winters. Today, modern environmental practices can learn much from these medieval survival strategies. Businesses must comply with environmental laws to support sustainable development practices, just as the peasants did. These ancient techniques demonstrate the power of adaptation and resilience in the face of adversity. Their spirit of innovation continues to inspire us today as we seek to create more sustainable environments. Indeed, the legacy of medieval survival techniques is not just a relic of the past, but a beacon guiding us towards a more sustainable future. The medieval peasants' ingenuity was in recognizing the potential of this method and systematically applying it to their environment. They would cut trees back on a cycle, typically every 7 to 10 years. This cyclical cutting allowed the trees to remain productive for many decades, providing a steady source of wood during the harshest times. By understanding and utilizing this natural process of tree regrowth, medieval peasants transformed their barren winter landscapes into sustainable resources. Through coppicing, medieval peasants demonstrated remarkable resourcefulness and long-term planning, leaving behind a legacy of sustainable forest management that continues to inspire us today. These versatile trees were particularly prized for their ability to regenerate quickly, ensuring a sustainable supply of wood even in the harshest conditions. Moreover, hazel trees were often intercropped with other plants like willow and ash, creating diverse habitats that supported a rich ecosystem of wildlife. This biodiversity further enhanced the sustainability of medieval woodlands. The value of hazel timber was not limited to its abundance and rapid growth. It also possessed excellent properties for various uses, including fuel, construction materials, and even tools like handles for axes and shovels. The significance of hazel trees in the medieval coppicing process cannot be overstated. Their unique properties not only provided a reliable wood supply, but also contributed to the health and diversity of the ecosystems they supported. As winters grew harsher, peasants adapted their techniques, honing the craft over centuries. This evolution was driven by necessity, with each generation refining methods passed down from ancestors. Coppicing, for instance, involved cutting trees back to stumps, which stimulated new growth. Over time, They discovered that certain species like hazel and willow regrew faster, ensuring a more abundant supply. Similarly, nut storage evolved from simple hoarding to sophisticated methods of preserving chestnuts, walnuts, and hazelnuts for winter use. Peasants learned to dry and store these nuts in cool, dark places, extending their shelf life significantly. These techniques weren't just about survival. They were part of a broader strategy to create sustainable environments. By managing forests and storing food, peasants ensured that resources could be replenished year after year. The progression from basic methods to more advanced practices showcases the ingenuity of medieval peasants in adapting to their challenging environment. Through trial and error, they identified which species thrived under coppicing and which nuts stored best, continually refining their approach to sustainability. This evolution didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual process spanning generations. Yet, the cumulative effect of these small improvements led to significantly more resilient and sustainable communities. In essence, these medieval survival techniques were not merely reactions, but carefully developed strategies that ensured long-term viability in a harsh climate. And this is just one aspect of the broader evolution of medieval survival techniques, a testament to human adaptability and ingenuity in the face of adversity. The continuous refinement of these practices highlights the deep connection peasants had with their environment, understanding it not just as a provider of resources, but also as a living system to be nurtured and preserved. This evolution in survival techniques underscores the resilience and foresight of medieval peasants, who through generations of trial and error created sustainable environments that supported not just their immediate needs, but also the health of future generations. The Black Death, a devastating pandemic that swept across Europe from 1347 to 1351, profoundly impacted medieval survival techniques. The plague's swift and relentless spread disrupted communities and left them grappling with how to sustain themselves amidst such catastrophic loss. As the Black Death ravaged Europe, it decimated the workforce needed for essential tasks like farming and forestry. This highlighted the critical need for sustainable resource management. Techniques that ensured a steady supply of wood and food became invaluable. The Black Death's impact underscored the importance of coppicing, as it ensured a reliable supply of wood even during labor shortages. Peasants could harvest regrowth multiple times over several years, making this method indispensable. The Black Death's toll on medieval society not only highlighted the necessity of these practices, but also led to their wider adoption and improvement. Survival became a collective effort, with communities banding together to implement sustainable methods. The devastating loss of life and labor during the Black Death paradoxically drove medieval peasants to develop more sophisticated and sustainable ways to manage their environments. These innovations ensured not only their immediate survival, but also the health and longevity of future generations. In this way, the Black Death's dark shadow cast a light on the resourcefulness and resilience of medieval peasants. Their ability to adapt and innovate under dire circumstances is a testament to human ingenuity. Ultimately, the Black Death's impact on survival techniques underscores how even in the most challenging times, human ingenuity can rise to meet the need for sustainability and resilience. This legacy of survival techniques continues to influence modern approaches to sustainable resource management, reminding us of the lessons learned from those who came before us. These practices were not just about immediate survival. They demonstrated a deep understanding of ecology and sustainable resource management. Similarly, the practice of nut storage encourages long-term planning and resource conservation, principles that are crucial in today's sustainability efforts. The future relevance of these medieval techniques lies in their adaptability to modern challenges. As we face increasing environmental pressures, revisiting and refining these historical practices can provide valuable insights for sustainable living. In essence, the wisdom of our ancestors offers a blueprint for sustainability that is as relevant today as it was centuries ago. By blending ancient knowledge with modern technology, we can build a more resilient and sustainable future. Greenhouses, essentially glass-roofed structures that trap heat and moisture, were a staple in medieval horticulture. By creating these artificial environments, peasants could cultivate crops year-round, significantly increasing their food supply during the coldest months. Cloches, which are individual plant protectors made from glass or plastic, served a similar purpose on a smaller scale. These miniature greenhouses allowed delicate plants to thrive even in the harshest conditions by maintaining a microclimate around each plant. Cold frames, another ancient technique, involved placing a transparent cover over raised beds or rows of crops. This simple yet effective method trapped heat from the sun during the day and retained it overnight, giving plants an extra layer of protection against frost. These methods were not just about survival, they represented a deep understanding of horticulture, the art and science of plant cultivation. Medieval peasants employed crop rotation techniques to ensure the soil remained fertile year after year. Crop rotation involves alternating different types of crops in the same field, each with distinct nutrient requirements and benefits for the soil. By rotating crops, medieval farmers could maintain a healthy balance of soil nutrients without needing modern fertilizers. Mulching was another essential practice that enhanced the sustainability of their agricultural methods. Peasants would spread layers of organic material, such as straw or leaves, around their crops to retain moisture and suppress weeds. This technique also helped regulate soil temperature, providing an additional layer of insulation for plants during cold spells. The ingenuity of medieval horticulture did not end with these methods alone. They also practiced the art of companion planting, where different crops were planted together to benefit from each other's growth habits and nutrient needs. Through these resourceful strategies, medieval peasants managed to transform their barren landscapes into sustainable resources. Their practices provide a blueprint for modern horticulturists looking to create resilient and productive gardens in the face of changing climates. By blending ancient knowledge with contemporary insights, we can extend our growing seasons, maximize crop yields, and build more sustainable environments. This is the legacy of medieval horticulture, a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability in the face of adversity. As we delve deeper into these ancient practices, we begin to see how their wisdom can guide us today, offering solutions that are as relevant now as they were centuries ago. Understanding the intricacies of medieval horticulture gives us a glimpse into a world where resourcefulness and sustainability were not just buzzwords, but essential ways of life. This knowledge is invaluable as we strive to build more resilient and sustainable futures, drawing from the time-tested wisdom of those who came before us. In the depths of winter, when resources are scarce and the weather unforgiving, medieval peasants employed ingenious methods to care for their livestock. Coppicing, a sustainable forestry technique, ensured that there was always plenty of firewood and fodder for the animals. Trees like willow and hazel were cut back to the stump, allowing them to regrow quickly. Medieval farmers also constructed shelters for their livestock, using a variety of materials. Wattle and daub, made from interwoven branches and mud, provided insulation against the cold. Animal husbandry during winter also included feeding strategies that ensured the animals stayed healthy. Storing nuts like hazelnuts and chestnuts for winter consumption was a common practice. Disease prevention was another crucial aspect of winter animal husbandry. Peasants took steps to quarantine sick animals and maintain cleanliness within the shelters. The shelters constructed from wattle and daub offered a warm retreat that protected the animals from the harshest weather conditions. Storing nuts ensured a consistent supply of nutritious food for the livestock throughout the winter months. By quarantining sick animals and maintaining cleanliness, peasants minimized the risk of diseases spreading within their herds. These methods demonstrated a deep understanding of both animal welfare and the environment, reflecting a sustainable approach to farming. With the onset of winter, medieval peasants faced a harsh reality. Their food supplies needed to last through long and frigid months. Food preservation was not just a luxury, it was a necessity for survival. One of the most effective methods employed by medieval peasants was salting meats. This technique involved covering cuts of meat with salt to preserve them for later consumption. The salt not only acted as a preservative, but also drew out excess moisture from the meat, preventing bacterial growth and spoilage. Additionally, peasants would smoke meats over slow fires to further extend their shelf life. The combination of salt and smoke created an environment that was inhospitable to bacteria. Vegetables were often preserved through pickling, a process involving immersing them in vinegar or brine. This method prevented the growth of harmful microorganisms and allowed peasants to enjoy nutritious produce throughout the winter. Fermentation was another technique employed by medieval peasants for preserving food. By converting sugars into acids or alcohols, fermentation not only preserved the food but also imparted distinctive flavors. Cheesemaking was a vital skill for medieval peasants. Milk could be converted into cheese, which had a longer shelf life and could provide sustenance during the lean winter months. These methods demonstrated not only ingenuity, but also a deep understanding of both animal welfare and environmental sustainability. As winter took hold and the world outside became desolate, the careful preservation efforts of medieval peasants ensured that their tables remained bountiful, a testament to their resilience and adaptability. These strategies not only fed the peasants, but also nourished the broader community, ensuring that no one went hungry during the harshest of times. As the winter chill sets in, medieval peasants must adapt their clothing and homes to withstand the harsh conditions. One of their primary resources for warmth is wool. Sheep are sheared during the autumn months, providing ample material for garments that can insulate against the cold. Woolen tunics, breeches, and cloaks become staples of the peasant wardrobe during winter. The natural fibers of wool trap air, creating a layer of warmth around the body. For those who can afford it, fur provides an additional layer of insulation. Fur coats and lined garments are luxuries that offer superior protection against the bitter cold. Linen is also used for undergarments, providing a breathable layer next to the skin. The combination of wool on the outside and linen on the inside creates an effective insulation system. In addition to clothing, peasants take care to construct their homes in a way that maximizes heat retention. Thick walls made of timber or stone are essential for keeping out the cold. Roofs are carefully insulated with layers of thatch or straw, creating a barrier against the frigid air. Peat fires are a common source of heat in medieval homes. Peat, a compressed form of decayed plant material, burns slowly and steadily, providing long-lasting warmth. This combination of warm clothing, well-insulated homes, and efficient heating methods allows peasants to survive the harshest winter conditions, demonstrating their resourcefulness in adapting to the cold. By employing these strategies, medieval peasants not only safeguard themselves, but also contribute to the overall resilience of their communities during the challenging winter months. When the first frosts of winter arrive, medieval peasants must prepare their housing to withstand the harsh conditions. Their primary dwelling is often a wattle and daub house. The process begins by weaving flexible branches into a lattice or wattle structure. This framework serves as the skeleton for their home, offering both strength and flexibility. The walls are then filled in with a mixture of mud, straw, and other organic materials. This technique not only provides insulation, but also creates a durable surface that can be easily repaired or maintained over time. To enhance the warmth of their homes during winter, peasants rely heavily on hearths and chimneys. A well-maintained fireplace ensures a steady supply of heat throughout the cold season. Additionally, they use rushes or straw to cover the floors and as insulation in the walls and roof. These materials provide an extra layer of protection against the biting cold, creating a cozy and more sustainable living environment. By combining these strategies, wattle and daub construction, effective insulation with natural materials, and the use of hearths, medieval peasants make their dwellings more resilient and comfortable during the harshest winter months. These adaptations reflect not only their ingenuity, but also their deep understanding of their environment and the resources available to them. As the harsh winter winds sweep across medieval landscapes, peasants rely on their keen observational skills to forage for food that might otherwise be scarce. They carefully identify edible plants that can withstand the cold, such as roots and berries. The ability to distinguish these from inedible varieties is crucial to their survival. For instance, the roots of dandelions are not only edible, but also highly nutritious. Peasants know that these can be dug up even in the harshest conditions. They also collect berries like hawthorn and elderberries, which are rich in vitamins necessary for enduring the long winter months. Preserving wild herbs is another technique used to ensure a varied diet during these trying times. By drying and storing these herbs, peasants can add flavor and nutrients to their meals long after the growing season has ended. Another ingenious method involves using snow traps to catch game during winter. These traps are cleverly designed to ensnare animals seeking shelter from the cold. These resourceful strategies illustrate how peasants ensured a varied diet even when resources were scarce, demonstrating their deep understanding of their environment and its available resources. As the winter season passes, these foraging techniques play a vital role in maintaining the health and resilience of medieval communities. In the frost-bitten heart of medieval Europe, a hidden lifeline preserved food and extended the lean winter months' cold storage. Peasants carved out ice cellars, subterranean chambers that harnessed the biting cold of winter to freeze their harvests. These structures were meticulously designed to ensure optimal conditions for preserving food. Constructed near streams or in shaded areas, ice cellars trapped cold air that seeped through the ground and maintained temperatures low enough to freeze meat and dairy products. Underground pits, lined with straw or hay, provided a cool environment for root vegetables like carrots and potatoes. The insulating properties of the earth kept these storage spaces consistently cold, preventing the produce from freezing and spoiling. Frozen streams and lakes were another resource for medieval peasants. They would harvest ice blocks during winter, store them in insulated pits or covered with sawdust, and use them throughout the year to keep perishable goods cold. These ingenious methods of cold storage transformed the barren winter landscape into a sustainable resource, ensuring that medieval communities had access to fresh food even in the harshest conditions. At the core of these villages were communal cooking spaces, known as bakehouses or communal ovens. These structures were more than just places to cook food. They served as hubs for social interaction and support. Peasants would gather in these bakehouses, bringing their own ingredients to be cooked in the large communal ovens. This not only ensured that everyone had access to freshly baked bread and warm meals, but also fostered a sense of community and shared responsibility. Beyond cooking, medieval peasants also shared storage facilities. These were often located in communal buildings or even underground cellars, where perishable items like grains and nuts could be stored safely. This collective approach to food preservation ensured that no family went hungry during the lean winter months. Moreover, medieval communities often set up mutual aid networks where neighbors would assist each other with various tasks. This could involve helping one another gather firewood, repair homes, or even tend to livestock. These networks were built on the understanding that survival depended not just on individual effort, but on collective support. The communal living arrangements and cooperative practices of medieval peasants were more than mere adaptations to harsh conditions. They were a testament to their resilience and ingenuity. By working together, these communities transformed the challenges posed by brutal winters into opportunities for collective survival. In this way, medieval peasants not only endured but thrived, demonstrating that even in the harshest of environments, humanity has an innate capacity for cooperation and mutual support. In the biting cold of medieval Europe, one essential tool stood at the heart of survival: fireplaces. They were not mere comforts but lifelines, carefully built and maintained to withstand the harshest winters. Medieval fireplaces were often constructed from stone or brick, their solid foundations designed to endure the brutal cold. At the base of these fireplaces was a large hearth where fires were set ablaze using wood, peat, or sometimes dried animal dung. These fires were not left to burn wildly, they were meticulously tended and regulated. Chimneys, while rare in the early Middle Ages, began to appear more frequently as the period progressed. When not in use, these chimneys were often covered with damp cloths or straw to prevent cold drafts from seeping through. The art of tending a medieval fireplace was passed down from one generation to the next, each lesson honed by bitter experience. A well-maintained fire could mean the difference between life and death during the long winter nights. Yet, despite their importance, these fireplaces required constant vigilance and careful management to remain effective. From the gathering of fuel to the meticulous tending of the fire, every step was crucial. This dedicated effort underscored the vital role heating played in medieval winter endurance. Without this constant warmth and light, the harsh realities of medieval winters would have been even more daunting. Thus, the art of maintaining a medieval fireplace was not just about comfort, but about survival itself. Straw, a plentiful resource in rural areas, was often packed into walls to create an effective barrier against the cold. This simple yet ingenious technique helped retain heat within homes during the bitter winter months. Mud bricks, another natural resource readily available to peasants, were also used to construct walls that provided excellent insulation. The thick walls formed by these mud bricks allowed the heat generated from fires to remain inside the dwelling, creating a warmer and more habitable environment. In addition to straw and mud bricks, other natural materials such as thatch were used to roof homes. These materials, when combined with the careful maintenance of fires, ensured that homes stayed warm even during the harshest winter nights. These resourceful strategies not only helped medieval peasants endure the harsh winters, but also paved the way for sustainable living conditions within their homes. By harnessing the power of natural materials and implementing effective insulation techniques, peasants demonstrated remarkable ingenuity in creating comfortable and sustainable environments. Their ability to transform barren landscapes into functional and insulated homes is a testament to their resilience and adaptability in the face of adversity. Thus, the humble homes of medieval Europe were not merely shelters, but lifelines that ensured the survival of their inhabitants during the coldest months. The ingenious use of straw, mud bricks, and other natural materials for insulation stands as a lasting testament to the resourcefulness of medieval peasants. Medieval peasants didn't just rely on nuts for winter sustenance. They employed ingenious methods to preserve other fruits and vegetables as well. The process of drying was particularly crucial. By exposing produce to heat or sunlight, they created stockpiles that could last through the harshest months. Fruits like apples and pears were sliced thinly and laid out on flat surfaces to dry under the sun. This technique not only preserved their nutritional value but also enhanced their flavor, creating a sweet treat that could be enjoyed even in the depths of winter. Vegetables such as beans and peas were strung together on ropes and hung from rafters or spread out on shelves, allowing them to dry evenly in the air. This simple yet effective method ensured that these vital sources of protein and fiber remained available throughout the cold season. The act of drying was not merely a survival technique, it also had cultural significance. Families would gather together to help with the process, turning it into a community event that fostered unity and cooperation. Dried fruits and vegetables were often stored in tightly woven baskets or clay jars, ensuring they remained fresh until needed. This careful storage was a testament to the peasants' foresight and resourcefulness. The preserved produce would not only sustain them during harsh winters, but also play a role in celebratory meals, symbolizing the resilience of their community. These practices underscored the peasants' deep understanding of their environment and their ability to adapt to harsh conditions, ensuring they had a varied diet even in the most challenging times. Their resourcefulness extended beyond just preserving food. It encompassed their entire approach to survival, making the most of every available resource in a sustainable manner. Clothing was another crucial aspect of winter survival, and medieval peasants took great care to ensure their garments lasted through harsh conditions. They employed various techniques for mending, cleaning, and preserving their winter clothing. This attention to detail was essential for enduring the cold and often damp environments of medieval Europe. Mending torn or worn garments was a critical skill. Peasants would patch holes using scraps of cloth from old garments, ensuring that no fabric went to waste. Cleaning their clothes was also a meticulous process. They would beat dirty clothing against rocks or scrub them with ashes from the fireplace to remove dirt and stains. Preservation involved careful storage in chests or trunks to keep clothes dry and free from pests like moths and rodents that could damage the fabric. These practices ensured that their clothing remained functional and durable, providing essential protection against the elements during long, cold winters. Their resourcefulness in maintaining their clothing was a vital part of their overall strategy for survival during harsh winters. This attention to detail demonstrated the essential role that clothing care played in medieval winter survival. By preserving their garments and ensuring they lasted through multiple winters, peasants could make the most of limited resources, a key aspect of their sustainable approach to survival. As winter approached, every piece of clothing was precious and needed to be in good condition. Beyond clothes, medieval peasants needed reliable food sources to survive the long, harsh winters. A vital resource was honey, harvested from beehives in forests and meadows. This practice of medieval beekeeping ensured a sweet and nourishing supply throughout the cold season. Honey was valued not only for its taste, but also for its medicinal properties. It was often used to treat wounds, coughs, and sore throats. Its natural preservative qualities made it an ideal food source during times when fresh produce was scarce. To harvest honey, peasants would carefully smoke the bees out of their hives. This calmed the bees and allowed the harvesters to safely collect the honeycombs without being stung. The collected honeycombs were then brought back to the village for processing. The harvested honey was stored in large clay pots or wooden barrels, which helped preserve its freshness and flavor. These containers would be carefully sealed and placed in cool cellars to prevent spoilage. Properly stored, honey could last for many months, providing a much-needed source of nourishment during the winter. Honey's nutritional value was significant in medieval diets. Rich in natural sugars and packed with antioxidants, it provided a quick energy boost. It also contained trace amounts of vitamins and minerals that helped fortify the immune system during the winter months. The practice of medieval beekeeping highlights the ingenuity of peasants in diversifying their food sources. By harnessing the power of nature, they ensured that even during the harshest winters, they had access to a valuable and nourishing resource. This strategy was crucial for survival in an era before modern refrigeration methods existed. The ability to preserve honey allowed peasants to maintain their health and energy levels, making it through the winter months with greater resilience. As the snow began to melt and spring arrived, the stored honey would be used as a sweetener in various dishes, providing a welcome change from the monotonous winter diet. This cycle of harvesting, storing, and using honey was an essential part of medieval life, ensuring the community's survival year after year. The root cellars stood as silent testaments to their resilience and foresight, quietly nurturing the seeds of sustenance in the heart of the coldest season. Amidst the harsh winters of medieval Europe, another resourceful strategy emerged to ensure the survival of peasants: fish ponds. These man-made bodies of water were carefully crafted and maintained by communities to provide a reliable source of food during the harshest seasons. Fish such as carp, tench, and perch were commonly stocked in these ponds, providing a nutritious and sustainable protein source. The creation of these fish ponds involved clearing land and digging shallow basins, often near streams or rivers, to ensure a steady water supply. These basins were typically lined with clay to prevent leakage and create an optimal environment for the fish to thrive. Throughout the winter, the ice-covered ponds would be monitored and maintained to ensure that the fish remained healthy and ready for harvesting when the weather improved. As the days grew longer and the ice began to thaw, medieval peasants would carefully harvest their bounty, ensuring that they had a substantial stock of fish to see them through the next lean period. These fish ponds not only served as a critical food source, but also played a significant role in medieval agriculture, providing nutrient-rich water for nearby crops and pastures. The resourcefulness of medieval peasants in creating and maintaining these fish ponds underscored their deep understanding of the natural world and their commitment to sustainable practices. Medieval peasants were not only adept at managing their environments, but also skilled in caring for their health and wellness during the challenging winter months. One of their most trusted strategies was the use of herbal remedies. Common herbs like yarrow, St. John's wort, and chamomile were staples in their medicine chests. These plants were often grown in communal gardens or foraged from nearby forests. Yarrow, with its fern-like leaves, was prized for its ability to staunch wounds and reduce inflammation. It was often used in bandages and compresses to treat cuts and bruises sustained during the harsh winter work. St. John's wort, with its bright yellow flowers, was known for its mood-enhancing properties. During long, dark winters, peasants would brew this herb into a tea to combat feelings of depression and anxiety. Chamomile, beloved for its calming effects, was frequently prepared as a soothing infusion. This warm drink helped alleviate stress and promote relaxation after a day's hard labor in the cold. The preparation of these herbs was often a communal affair, with villagers gathering to share knowledge and techniques passed down through generations. Drying, grinding, and brewing were all part of the process, each step imbued with ritualistic significance. This holistic approach to healthcare was not merely about physical survival, but also mental well-being. By incorporating herbal remedies into their daily routines, medieval peasants created a supportive network that helped them endure the harshest of winters with resilience and grace. As we delve deeper into their world, it becomes clear that these humble strategies were integral to their survival and prosperity. These peasants not only sustained themselves physically, but also nurtured their spirits in the face of adversity. One essential practice was the construction of wells that tapped into underground water sources. These wells provided a steady supply of water even during winter months when surface water might be frozen. In addition to wells, medieval peasants built aqueducts to transport water from distant sources to their villages and farms. These aqueducts were engineering marvels that could withstand the cold temperatures and provide reliable water supply year-round. Another ingenious method was collecting snowmelt during the winter season. This involved building structures that could capture and store the water from melting snow. The Norse, in particular, were known for their sophisticated technique of storing ice in pits filled with sawdust. This insulating material helped preserve the ice throughout the winter months, ensuring a steady supply of fresh water for their communities. These resourceful strategies demonstrate how peasants adapted to limited water resources during the harsh winters of the Middle Ages. By implementing these techniques, they ensured their survival and sustained prosperity even in the harshest of conditions. As the first frosts of winter began to set in, medieval peasants turned to their rich knowledge of herb lore to combat the harsh conditions. Herbs like thyme and rosemary were not just seasonings for their meals but also powerful medicines. Thyme tea was a staple during the winter months, known for its warming properties and ability to soothe sore throats. Sage, another common herb, was highly valued for its anti-inflammatory properties and used to make ointments that could ease winter aches. Rosemary was prized not only for its culinary uses, but also for its believed ability to boost memory and concentration. By combining these herbs into teas and ointments, medieval peasants could create effective remedies to combat the common ailments of winter. These practices were passed down through generations, ensuring that each family was equipped to face the cold seasons with knowledge and resourcefulness. While modern medicine has advanced significantly, these ancient herbal remedies are a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of our ancestors. In the quiet of a winter night, huddled around the hearth, a cup of warm thyme tea could offer not just relief, but also a sense of security and continuity with the past. These humble herbs, with their hidden powers, played a crucial role in medieval winter survival and healthcare. And as the seasons turned again, so too would the peasants' reliance on these treasured herbs. As the air grows colder and the days shorter, medieval peasants turned to another vital source of sustenance: winter fishing techniques. Ice fishing was a skillful art practiced during the harshest months. Peasants would drill holes in the frozen lakes and rivers using augers made from sturdy wood or metal. These holes were carefully monitored for signs of fish activity beneath the ice. When a catch was detected, they used spears or nets to carefully retrieve the fish from the frozen waters. Another method involved setting up nets under the ice to catch fish as they swam by. These nets were strategically placed in areas where fish were likely to be found. To preserve their catch for the long winter months ahead, peasants employed age-old techniques of smoking and salting. Smoking involved slowly cooking the fish over a fire, which not only preserved it, but also enhanced its flavor. Salting was another effective method, where fish were coated in salt to draw out moisture and prevent spoilage. These preserved fish became a critical source of protein during the harsh winter months. Thus, through ingenuity and resourcefulness, medieval peasants ensured that they had another valuable source of nourishment to see them through the winter. And as another day dawned under the winter sky, the peasants' resilience and adaptability continued to shine through their innovative survival techniques. As the winter sun began its slow ascent, the peasants prepared for another day of finding sustenance in their frozen environment. Their resourcefulness not only provided for them, but also laid the foundation for generations to come. Medieval peasants employed resourceful methods to keep their homes warm during harsh winters, demonstrating the innovative ways they maintained warmth in their dwellings. Central fireplaces were a staple in medieval homes. These fireplaces served as both the primary source of heat and a place for cooking and gathering. Heated floors, known as hypocausts, were also used in some homes. Hot air was circulated beneath the floors through a system of ducts and tunnels. This design provided even heating throughout the house and ensured that cold drafts were minimized. This technique involved weaving flexible wooden strips called wattles into a lattice frame, which was then coated with a daub mixture of soil, clay, water, and sometimes animal dung. The combination of wattles for structure and daub for insulation created a robust barrier against cold drafts. These ingenious methods showcase the peasants' resourcefulness in adapting to their environment. To survive the harsh winters, medieval peasants employed a variety of ingenious fuel-gathering strategies. These regrowths could be harvested multiple times before the tree became too old to replant, ensuring a constant supply of wood for both construction and fuel. In addition to coppicing, peasants also collected peat, a type of soil composed of decayed plant material found in bogs and wetlands. Peat harvesting involved digging up these blocks of compressed organic matter, which could then be dried and used as fuel. This practice was particularly useful in areas where wood was scarce or difficult to obtain. Another crucial fuel source for medieval peasants was animal dung. This organic material was collected and dried to create a fuel that could be used in fires. The extensive planning and effort required for these various fuel-gathering strategies highlight the peasants' ingenuity and determination to endure harsh winters. These methods showcase a deep understanding of their environment and a resilience that ensured their survival through the harshest seasons. During harsh medieval winters, peasants faced the challenge of constructing shelters that could withstand the cold and provide warmth. Their ingenuity in building techniques is a testament to their deep understanding of the environment and resourcefulness. This practice ensured a steady supply of wood without depleting forest resources. Trees like willow, hazel, and alder were favored for their quick regrowth. Thatch was harvested from roofs of crops like wheat and rye, providing excellent insulation against the cold. Wattle, made from flexible branches woven together, formed strong walls that could be plastered with mud or daub to enhance their insulating properties. Insulating the shelter was a critical aspect of medieval construction techniques. Medieval builders often filled gaps and cracks with straw, moss, or animal fur to prevent drafts. These natural materials trapped air pockets, creating a barrier against the cold. Another innovative method was using a double-walled structure. The space between the inner and outer walls would be filled with insulating materials like dried leaves or heather. These techniques not only kept the inhabitants warm, but also made the shelter more resilient against the elements. Structural reinforcements were essential for withstanding the weight of snow and wind. Peasants often used a technique called wattle and daub, where interwoven branches were plastered with mud. This method created strong, flexible walls that could bend rather than break under pressure, providing stability during harsh weather conditions. Another reinforcement technique was the use of diagonal braces in roof construction. By adding diagonal supports to the rafters, the structure gained significant strength against lateral forces. These shelter construction techniques demonstrate the ingenuity and resourcefulness of medieval builders in creating sustainable environments that could withstand the harshest conditions. Their ability to adapt traditional methods to their specific needs and surroundings ensured not only survival, but also a level of comfort that helped them endure the long, cold winters. As we continue to explore medieval life, we'll see how these practical and sustainable techniques were integral to the daily lives of medieval peasants, shaping their communities and ensuring their resilience against the elements. As the leaves change color and the days grow shorter, medieval peasants turn their attention to a crucial task: preparing for winter. One of the most essential tasks is creating warm clothing to withstand the harsh conditions. This involves the entire process of textile production, from harvesting raw materials to weaving and dyeing fabrics. The journey begins with harvesting natural fibers such as flax or hemp, which are ideal for making sturdy cloth. The plants are carefully gathered and processed to extract the valuable fibers. Once the fibers are ready, they are spun into threads using a simple tool called a spindle. This labor-intensive task is often done communally, with neighbors gathering to spin together. The threads are then carefully woven into cloth on a loom. The weaving pattern determines the fabric's strength and warmth, making it suitable for cold weather garments. To create intricate designs and add warmth, medieval weavers often incorporate patterns and materials such as wool into their textiles. This attention to detail is crucial for enduring the winter's chill. Dyeing is another vital step in the process. Natural dyes are extracted from plants like woad or madder root. These dyes not only add color, but also offer some resistance to the elements. Once dyed, the cloth is cut and sewn into garments specifically designed for cold weather. This includes long tunics, thick coats, and warm hats that provide insulation and protection. The skillful hands of medieval peasants transformed these basic materials into functional and comfortable clothing, a testament to their resourcefulness and resilience. These self-sufficient practices ensure that every household is prepared for the harshest conditions, showcasing the ingenuity of medieval peasants in adapting to their environment. As winter approaches, the fruits of their labor-warm, durable clothing become essentials that safeguard against the cold and ensure survival through the harsh season. This cycle of textile production and preparation continues each year, reflecting the deep connection medieval peasants have with their land and the changing seasons. Through these practical and sustainable techniques, medieval peasants not only survive, but thrive in the face of winter's challenges. Among the plants they prized were nettles, dandelions, and wild garlic. These humble greens could be found even in the harshest conditions and offered essential nutrients to help combat winter's toll. To prepare these wild greens, peasants would carefully clean them, often using a technique known as ringing. This involved gathering the leaves in their hands and squeezing out any excess moisture or dirt. After cleaning, the greens were often cooked in a simple broth or stew, combining them with other foraged foods like mushrooms and berries to create hearty meals. Folklore surrounding these wild plants was rich and varied. It was believed that dandelions could cure a wide range of ailments, from stomach aches to fevers. The practice of wildcrafting was not merely about survival, it was also steeped in tradition and respect for the natural world. Peasants understood that these plants held within them the power to sustain life even in the harshest of conditions. This deep understanding and resourcefulness in utilizing their environment demonstrated the remarkable resilience of medieval peasants in the face of winter's challenges. As the days began to lengthen and the first signs of spring appeared, the peasants would continue their foraging journeys, knowing that each new plant they discovered brought them one step closer to a more bountiful season ahead. In this way, wildcrafting became not just a means of survival, but a vital connection to the cycles of nature and a testament to human adaptability. As the seasons turned once more, the knowledge and practices of wildcrafting would be passed on, ensuring that future generations could weather the storms of winter with the same tenacity and wisdom. As winter's chill tightened its grip on the land, medieval peasants turned their attention to the care of their livestock. Pasturing techniques were crucial for ensuring that animals remained healthy and productive throughout the harsh season. One essential strategy was the storage of feed. Peasants would harvest and store hay in barns or stacks to provide a steady source of nutrition for their livestock during winter. These hay stacks were often covered with thatch or other materials to protect them from the elements and preserve their quality until spring. In addition to storing hay, peasants also cultivated and harvested crops like turnips and beets, which could be fed to livestock as a supplementary source of nutrition. Managing pastures was another vital aspect of medieval winter care. Peasants would allow their livestock to graze on certain fields during winter months to maintain the health and fertility of the soil. These pastures were carefully rotated to ensure that they did not become overgrazed and depleted of nutrients. This practice helped maintain the long-term sustainability of the land. Animals were also cared for with additional provisions, such as warm bedding and shelter. Stables or simple enclosures were built to protect livestock from the cold winds and snow. These practices ensured that livestock remained robust and ready to contribute to the agricultural cycle come springtime. To withstand the harsh winter months, medieval peasants developed ingenious strategies to heat their homes efficiently. One such method was the design and construction of advanced furnaces tailored specifically for winter heating. These furnaces were typically constructed using durable materials like stone and brick, which provided excellent insulation and heat retention properties. The layout of these furnaces was carefully engineered to optimize heat distribution throughout the living space. The placement of heating elements and vents ensured that warm air circulated evenly, reducing cold spots. The use of coal in particular was a testament to their advanced understanding of fuel efficiency, as it burns hotter and longer compared to wood. One innovative feature of these furnaces was the incorporation of multiple small fireboxes instead of a single large one. This configuration allowed for better control over heat output and reduced fuel consumption. The result of these thoughtful designs was a home that remained warm and cozy even during the coldest winter nights, a testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of medieval peasants. As we delve deeper into the practices of medieval survival, it becomes clear that these ancient strategies were not only about enduring harsh winters, but also about creating a resilient and sustainable environment. At the core of these systems were aqueducts, carefully engineered channels that transported water over long distances with minimal loss. By utilizing the natural slopes of the landscape, Gravity-fed aqueducts ensured a steady supply of water throughout the cold months. Peasants also dug intricate networks of ditches to collect and distribute water evenly across their fields. These ditches were meticulously maintained to prevent blockages, ensuring that every corner of the land received the life-giving resource. Wells were another critical component of medieval water management. Deep wells provided access to groundwater reserves and acted as reservoirs during times of drought. These wells were often communally maintained, ensuring that no family went without water. To safeguard against freezing temperatures, peasants employed ingenious techniques such as insulating the well shafts with straw and coverings. This prevented the water from freezing and ensured a steady supply, even in the harshest conditions. Natural slopes were cleverly used to create drainage systems that prevented flooding and erosion. By directing water flow down these gradients, peasants could control the movement of water and maintain the fertility of their land. The comprehensive planning and innovation behind these irrigation systems reveal a deep understanding of the natural world and an unwavering commitment to sustainability. Through practices like coppicing and nut storage, peasants transformed barren landscapes into thriving environments that could withstand even the harshest winters. Their ability to harness natural resources, combined with meticulous planning and maintenance, enabled them to thrive in conditions that might seem insurmountable today. By learning from these time-tested strategies, we gain a profound appreciation for the ingenuity and resilience of our ancestors, highlighting the importance of sustainable practices in shaping our world. Beneath the frost-covered landscapes of medieval Europe, an ingenious system of underground ice houses provided vital sustenance during harsh winters. These structures, often dug into hillsides or beneath thatched roofs, were meticulously constructed to preserve perishable goods in a time before modern refrigeration. Ice houses were a testament to medieval resourcefulness. The thick layers of straw and animal fur used for insulation created an effective barrier against the bitter cold, maintaining temperatures just above freezing within the chambers. Medieval peasants employed various strategies to maximize their resources. Coppicing, a technique involving the regular cutting back of tree branches, ensured a steady supply of firewood for heating and cooking throughout the winter months. Storage techniques included burying root vegetables in straw or sand to protect them from frost. This method not only preserved freshness, but also enhanced flavor over time. Meat, fish, and dairy products were salted or pickled to extend their shelf life. The salting process involved layering the food with coarse salt in airtight containers, creating an environment that inhibited bacterial growth. These innovative methods highlighted the remarkable ingenuity and resilience of our ancestors in creating sustainable environments. By maximizing their resources, they ensured survival through the harshest conditions. As winter's chill descended upon medieval Europe, peasants turned to ingenious craftsmanship techniques to create essential items for their homes. Among these vital skills was the art of coppicing, an ancient method of sustainably harvesting wood. The regrowth was swift, some species sprouting up to 2 meters in a year, ensuring a steady supply of wood for various uses. Peasants expertly crafted wooden spoons and bowls from the coppiced timber, transforming these natural resources into practical household items. These utensils were not mere tools, they were testaments to their creators' resourcefulness and resilience, designed to withstand the harsh realities of medieval winters. The craft of basket making was equally crucial for winter survival. Willow or hazel branches were expertly woven into sturdy baskets, perfect for storing nuts, another ingenious method of enduring the lean months. The willow and hazel branches were carefully chosen for their flexibility and strength, ensuring that each basket could hold a significant amount of food while remaining durable over time. These baskets served as vital containers, protecting the peasants' winter supplies from pests and the elements. They were symbols of their creators' foresight and preparation for the coming cold season. The combination of coppicing and basket making showcased the peasants' remarkable ingenuity in transforming natural resources into sustainable household items. Through these resourceful techniques, medieval peasants not only ensured their survival, but also left a legacy of craftsmanship that highlights the resilience and adaptability of human ingenuity. Winter foraging techniques were essential to their survival, and they employed a variety of methods to identify and harvest the few plants that could withstand the cold. One such plant was the humble willow, known for its remarkable ability to thrive in even the harshest winter conditions. Peasants could recognize a willow tree by its distinctive bark and slender branches. They would carefully cut back the branches to encourage new growth, a technique known as coppicing. This process allowed them to harvest multiple times from the same tree over several years. Another vital plant was hazel, prized for its versatility. Hazelnuts provided a valuable source of nutrition during the lean winter months. Medieval peasants also cultivated and harvested aspen trees, using their flexible branches for crafting baskets and other essential items. These plants were not only used for food and crafts, but also held medicinal value. For instance, willow bark was known to contain natural pain relievers that could alleviate winter ailments. Peasants would carefully collect the bark in late fall or early winter when it was most potent, and then brew it into a soothing tea to ease their pains. Their seasonal calendars, passed down through generations, indicated the best times for harvesting these plants. For example, hazelnuts were typically gathered in late summer or early fall, when they were ripe and most nutritious. Through these meticulously planned foraging techniques, medieval peasants demonstrated a deep understanding of the natural world around them. Their resourcefulness and adaptability were on full display as they transformed what appeared to be barren landscapes into sustainable resources that ensured their survival through the harshest of winters. As the winter sun began to set on the frozen landscape, they could take comfort in the fact that their intimate knowledge of local flora would see them through until the warmer days returned. Their ingenuity and resilience stand as a reminder of the extraordinary lengths humans will go to in order to thrive in even the most challenging environments. And so, under the quietude of the winter sky, medieval peasants carried on their legacy of craftsmanship and survival, weaving a tale of human ingenuity that endures to this day.